Respected devotees, by God's grace, we are having a fortunate chance to listen about God, to listen about this creation and try to understand the creation. Because unless we understand any system, we can't work properly. So we have to understand the system in which this creation is working. Physical systems, science has come out, many formulas, many laws they have come out, like Boyle's law, Charles' law, Archimedes' principle, how this nature is working physically. So that is the achievement of science. But spiritual working, mental working is how. But sometimes we suffer, sometimes we enjoy, sometimes we are in desperate situation. Different circumstances come before us. Sometimes we are in so suffering that we think that why God is punishing me that much. So many things come out. Sometimes we think that God is partial, is not helping me, is helping others. So many things come in our mind because we don't understand the system in which this God or Creator is working. Saints say that God has made a law. He has devised a law, and that is the law of karma. What you sow, shall you reap. So whatever we are having today, good or bad, prosperity or poverty, whatever is in our life, is all the result of our own karmas. God is an impartial witness to whatever is happening. Because once we devise a law, that law has to prevail. And even He Himself, when He incarnates, He follows that law. This is what Lord Krishna says in Gita. When I incarnate, even though the nature is in my control, everything is in my control, I can supersede anything. But I still follow the laws that have been created by me, the laws of karma. And you see, if we see the history, you find such examples. In Treta Yuga, the what we call the Silver Age, in that Lord Rama killed Bali, not in front of him, but hidingly he killed Bali. And so it was that Bali said that you didn't come in front of me, because actually Bali had a boon that whoever will come before him, the half power of that will go to Bali. So there was no way out, and so in a hiding situation, Rama killed Bali. But that was a karma. So the repercussion of that karma, because what Newton says, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So in the next era, what we call the Dwapar Yuga, the Copper Age we may call it, in that era, Krishna, who was the incarnate of Rama, was killed by a Vyada, we call a hunter, He thought when Krishna moved his leg, he thought some animal is there, and he put an arrow, and that was a poisonous arrow, and that killed Lord Krishna. So actually that was the result of what karma was done in the previous life, that came back. So even the Lord follows the law of karma. Because that law, if you don't have a law, and if everybody started disobeying the law, there will be chaos. And this is what Lord Krishna says, that if I break up the laws, my devotees will break up and there will be chaos everywhere. So I follow strictly the laws, and everybody should follow the law of karma. So whatever we are having in our life is whatever we have done in our life. So if we are in problem, if we are in trouble, we have to change our karmas. We have to beautify our karmas. And the result will be slowly, even if our past karmas were not good, they will be erased and good times will come in our life. Because the present good karmas will slowly neutralize the past bad karmas. Actually, what I feel in my experience, what we are having today is not only the result of our past karmas, but is a combination of past karmas plus the present karmas, and the result of which is what we are having just now. So, if it is so, if you could beautify our present karmas, whatever is our past karma, slowly they can be neutralized and we can have good times in our life. I have heard a story. There were two neighbors. One was a devotee and the other was a type of cruel person. Fight people, oppress people, and all his karmas were all negative karmas. Spirituality says son of light and son of darkness. Those positive attitude people are called son of light, sons of light, and those with negative mentality are called as sons of darkness. So the devotee was a positive minded person and the neighbor was a negative minded person. The devotee's life was very, a life of suffering. He used to have some problems all the time. And even though he was doing good karmas, devoting time in spiritual things, in helping people, doing good deeds, still he had suffering in his life. Of course, spirituality says, friends, that suffering is a boon of God, is a grace of God. And spiritual people accept this, because the one who have experienced the holy name and meditates on the holy name, he knows that he can perform a better meditation during the period of suffering. And when the suffering goes away, is in enjoying times, the meditation is not up to the mark as it was during the period of suffering. This is what Kabir says, सुख के माते सिल पड़े जो नाम हृदय से जाए, बलिहारी व दुख की जो पल पल नाम रटाए. He says, I don't like that happiness which takes me away from the holy name. I would prefer suffering which could make me remember the holy name all the time. So spiritual people, saints, they have always welcomed suffering, because suffering makes them more better and help them rise up in spirituality. When you fly a kite, we generally fly the kite against the airflow, against the flow of the wind. We fly opposite to that, and then that kite goes high up. But if we fly the kite in the direction of the wind, it will go far and drop down. It will not go high up. So suffering, opposition, adverse situations, all these help us to rise up in spirituality, to rise up in our life. So spiritualist people, they take suffering as a grace of God. This is what Kunti also, the mother of Pandavas, when she became the queen, the great queen, after Pandavas won the battle and were ruling the kingdom. So at that time, Lord Krishna asked Kunti, their mother, how is the life going on now? She says, Lord, I enjoyed the previous life of suffering. Krishna was astonished. He said, you had so much suffering and you are still remembering and you are still desiring those sufferings again. Why? She said, Lord, during those periods, I had a very good meditation of the holy name. And now because everything is enjoying, no problem, no type of, opposition, no type of struggles. In a struggleless life, meditation is not what it was during the periods of struggle. So, for a spiritualist person, struggles are the grace of God. So, I was talking about the two neighbors. One always used to suffer and the other one, the negative one, always used to enjoy. Sometimes the devotee used to think that I am doing so good deeds, still I am suffering. Whether I am on the wrong track or he is on the right track. So such suspicion, such doubts used to crop up in his mind. Anyway, the time was passing on. One day when he was going out, he was nailed and he suffered very much. And he has to be at home for some days. So he thought, I have done so good deeds, still I am suffering. And now the suffering is so extreme for 2-3 days or a week. I can't go out, I can't do any work. Why God is punishing me like that? So a suspicion, a doubt started coming within his mind that I may be on the wrong track. It's no use to believe in God, to worship God, to meditate on God. His neighbor on that day went for hunting in the forest. And he found a crown there, a gold crown. Crown made of gold and diamonds. A very expensive crown he got in the forest. And he came up home, said, oh, today I got such a beautiful thing in the forest. What a good luck I had. When the devotee heard that, his patience was gone away. He said, there is no use meditating on God, there is no use believing in God, there is no use following a devoted life. I should be like this person. You see, I am suffering that much and he is enjoying that much. Next day, when he was at home, a saint used to come to him. The saint came to him and he said, Swamiji, please don't come now. I am fed up with this devotion. What I got? Always suffering, and see my neighbor is always enjoying. So now my belief on God, my faith on God is wavering. I can't accept now that God is impartial. The saint said, you don't understand the system of the law of karma. It says, what you sow shall you reap. In your past life, you have done so negative karmas, and the result of that would have been you should have been hanged yesterday when you were nailed. But because you did so many good karmas in this life, they neutralized it so much that now only with a nail in your leg, that hanging result has been minimized. So your suffering has been minimized just because of your good deeds. And this person, your neighbor, he had done so good deeds in the past life. And if you would have done good deeds in this life also, the result would have been special, a very, very fantastic, special result would have been. Yesterday he got a crown fitted with various diamonds, expensive diamonds and rubies. If his work would have been good one, noble one, this life also, like the previous life, yesterday would have been crowned a king of some kingdom. But because his present karmas were so bad, so negative, that they neutralized the good deeds, and now just he got that crown in the forest. And so today his good karmas have been totally neutralized, and your bad karmas has been totally neutralized. Now from next day everything will change slowly. He will start suffering and you will start enjoying. So friends, this is just a story, but the law of karma says that whatever we have done, we are getting the fruit of that. And so we shouldn't blame anyone. It's all our karmas. And if we beautify our present karmas, if we know the system how to beautify our present karmas, we can change the karma, even we can erase our karmas. That's the possibility in our life. So to beautify the karmas, we have to learn, we have to find out and experience the holy name and meditate on the holy name. Because meditation on the holy name even erases the effect on our karmas. And that will help us to do more good karmas. So actually it is the law of karma, and to understand it more and more, we have to meditate on the holy name. Because it's a fact. Meditation on the holy name activates the right brain. This is a truth I am speaking to you. Because when I got knowledge, I was not in spirituality before that. So I had no knowledge of spirituality. By God's grace, I got knowledge. I started meditating on it and came back from Calcutta, I came back home at Kalimpong and used to sit in meditation morning and evening. But hundreds of questions used to come to me. Why this world was created? Who am I? What is this creation? Hundreds of questions, unanswered questions crept up into my mind. And there was nobody to answer me because it was a small town. Highly intellectual people were not there. Learned people were not there. So now it was a problem for me. So many questions coming up, nobody is to answer me. Anyway, I kept on meditating, and after about a month of meditation, a miracle started happening. I started getting answer of my questions within myself. It was pleasant surprise for me, getting the answer of my questions in my mind, within myself. So it was a pleasant enjoyment to me. Slowly my questions were getting answered. But another question came, how it's happening? What is the system behind it? To understand the system, I studied neurology, the science of brain. And in that, when I studied that, I came to know that the brain is divided into two parts, the left part and the right part. The left part is the logical part, which puts questions, which create doubts, which has so many curiosity. It's all in the left part of the brain. And whereas the right part is like the internet. You see, if you have a problem or you want to know anything, nowadays it's very easy. Go to Google search engine, put up your problem, question, anything you want to know there, and the answer will come up. How the internet brings the answer? It connects us to a cosmic, a server which is in the west. And in that server, all the information is already there. So from that server, the internet connection brings the answer, and that comes in our mobile or in our laptop. So internet brings the answer of our question or our problem. Similar is the right brain, the right part of the brain. Through the mind, when the mind, we call about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. When the mind is in the left part of the brain, that is the conscious mind. And when the mind is connected with the right part of the brain, it happens only sometime only. Of course, for meditating people, it's a regular thing. But the one who doesn't know the holy name, who doesn't meditate on the holy name, whose right brain neurons are not active, for him it's just sometimes coincidence only. So when the mind is with the right brain, it is called the subconscious mind. And during that situation, it is connected with the cosmic server. Now science has also accepted there is a universal mind, a global brain, a cosmic intelligence which is controlling and managing everything. And in that cosmic server is the answer to all our problems, answer to all our questions, solution to all our problems. And through the subconscious mind, we connect with that server and we get the answers. And it really happens. Not only that, from that intuitions also come. Signals that what you should do, what you should not do. Even the direction also comes. Then we come to know God is desiring us to help very much. He wants us to help so much that He wants us to make like Him. But we have to go through the system. And the system is the law of karma. So once we start meditating on the holy name, because sometimes people ask why our right brain is not charged, why our right brain is not active. Just because we have not charged the right brain neurons. Many times I have given this example. If you have two mobiles and I am putting the charger in the left, the mobile on the left side, and I am never putting the charger, connecting the charger to the right mobile, the mobile on the right side, what will happen? The battery of the right side mobile will go down and down, and of the left mobile will only be charged. This is what has happened with us. If we study our mind is most of the time with the left brain, the logical brain. It is connected with the senses and it's all the time gathering information through the senses. And unless the mind is connected with the left brain, the grey matter triggering will not be there. Neurons will not be active. So most of the time our mind is with the left part of the brain. And so the neurons of the left brain are getting activated. And what happened? The battery of the right part got discharged. So to activate the right part, we have to take the mind from the left, put it in the right one. And that's very easy to say, friends, but it requires a bit labor, a bit of practice. Because all the physical things are related with the logical brain. So if our mind is connected with any of the physical things, it remains in the left part of the brain. Only when the mind is connected with something metaphysical, at that time the charge goes to the right part of the brain. So what is the metaphysical thing within us? God, or the supreme power, or whatever we call Him, the cosmic energy. In different words we can call Him by different names. But that cosmic energy within us exists in the form of sound and light. And both the sound and light are metaphysical. I am again emphasizing on the word metaphysical. So when our mind is connected with that metaphysical entity, during that period, mind is disconnected from the left part of the brain. At that time, the energy of the mind charges the neurons of the right brain. And the more we meditate, the more we connect our mind with that metaphysical entity within us, the more our right brain will be charged. And it's not just imagination. We'll start having different experiences, different intuitions, many solutions, many answers. And then we come to know everything is within me. There is a treasure within me. And that treasure you may call within us, or maybe that we are connected with that treasure. It's just the same thing. So right brain is the internet, divine internet within us. Our subconscious mind is the metaphysical internet within us, which connects us to the super cosmic server, from where we can have information, any information. It's the omniscient server. And this is not a theory, friends. This is not a theory. Saints, meditators have experienced in their life. Many such incidences are there. I had a friend who was a homeo doctor, and he was about to start his practice from next day. In homeopathy, I am giving a real example, a true example of the present times. Now in homeopathy, the symptom of all the medicines are almost similar. So unless we are serious with the study, we can't differentiate between the symptoms of different medicines. So he decided that every day I'll study one medicine very seriously, so that I could have a clear picture of the patient who belongs to that picture. Because homeopathy is on the principle that similium, we call it, means if any medicine produces symptom in a person, if those symptoms are in some person, that medicine will cure. And on this principle, homeopathy was discovered, invented by Hahnemann. He took cinchona he took, and he developed a type of fever. So he came to the conclusion, the one who have a type of malaria fever, if we give him cinchona, he'll be cured. And because crude will give more problem, so he diluted it, and the effect remained the same. So on this principle, homeopathy came out. So every day he decided to study one medicine seriously. So first day, he studied belladonna. Next day morning, when he started the first day of his practice, the first patient that came to him was a belladonna patient. He was shocked and surprised, very happy. He thought it's a coincidence that I studied belladonna in the night, and today morning the first patient is of belladonna. He will definitely be cured because all the symptoms are similar. So the starting was beautiful. Next day, in the evening, in the night, he studied a medicine called Rustux. It's a true story I am telling you. You might not believe, but this happened. And second day, the first patient that came to was of Rustux. So, a double coincidence. First day also it happened, second day also it happened. Third day, he studied sulfur, and the patient came of sulfur. This happened consecutively for 7 days. Now he was shocked and surprised. How it is happening? Who is causing that? Some superpower is helping me, or my previous life results are there. He couldn't find the answer. Slowly he came to know it's all the right brain work. He used to meditate. He was a good meditator. He used to meditate on the holy name. And because the right brain knows who is going to come tomorrow, the first patient. Right brain knows the future, friends. And so that inspired him to study that very medicine. Right brain doesn't have logic. He will not say that this patient is going to come, you study this. Right brain inspires a person to do that thing which will benefit him. And so such pleasant hundreds of surprises comes in the life of a meditating person. So now the time is up. What I mean to say is we have to beautify our present karmas, and the best way to do that is meditate on the holy name. Holy name will activate our right brain neurons, and once our right brain is active, there will be combination of both the brains. Our brain will become a super brain. We can work, perform better in this world and enjoy this life. Beautify our life also and help the society to beautify their life also. So it's such a thing which will make us happy, and through it we can make the society and the world happy and peaceful. So let's search for the holy name, and if you have got the holy name, let's meditate on the holy name, propagate the holy name, and that's what Nanak says, Aap jape auron ko japave, Nanak nischay mukti pave. The one who meditates on the name and propagates the holy name is definitely going to have liberation. He is going to have saturation in his life. So the time is up, and from tomorrow I know that we may not be meeting. I don't know when live will be there. We meet again. So by the time, thank you everybody. Thank you very much.